Weimar is a small town in central Texas located on Interstate Highway 10. It's a farm and ranching town founded in 1873 as a rail link between Houston and San Antonio. A rail line still runs through the center of town, where tourism, baseball, and church are the mainstays of community life.
Weimar's your typical small town. Rural, agricultural, very religious. We have a lot of churches in Weimar. It's just your typical neat Texas small town.
May 2nd, 1999 begins like every other Sunday, as the 12 different churches in Weimar welcome their parishioners for morning worship.
Sundays are quiet. Most everyone goes to church. By noon, people are at home. There are family barbecues and gatherings and things like that. But as far as law enforcement is concerned, Sunday is a very quiet day for us.
At the United Church of Christ, the congregation is waiting for their minister, Reverend Norman Skip Cernick, and his wife Karen to arrive. Everything seems routine.
The congregation is there. They thought, well, it was his birthday. They were just running a little late. They didn't show up, they didn't show up, they didn't show up. And finally, the president of the church went to the residence.
Entering the Cernick house located behind the church, the congregation members are unprepared for the horrific scene they find there. Reverend Cernick and his wife Karen are the victims of a brutal killing that leaves the town shocked and terrified. Realizing his 7-man department is ill-equipped to investigate the crime, Police Chief Livingston calls in the Texas Rangers, who in turn enlist the aid of the FBI.
Most everybody knows everybody else. People were concerned and upset and scared, really literally scared.
In the weeks following Norman and Karen Cernick's murders, the people of Weimar remain in shock and disbelief. There hadn't been a homicide in Weimar in over 70 years.
This is a preacher for the United Church of Christ in Weimar, Texas, a town of 2,000. It's a very safe community. And then you have him murdered, his wife murdered and sexually assaulted.
We were all very shaken about the murder of the Cernicks.
We were just all shocked about it because Weimar has never had a murder before.
Things like this don't happen in small town USA. They're not supposed to happen. You hear about it in the big cities, but here in Weimar, it caught everybody off guard.
The evidence from the crime scene shows that the killer had entered the Cernick residence through an open garage door late at night. There is no sign of resistance.
Both Skip Cernick and his wife Karen were bludgeoned to death with a sledgehammer, and they were asleep while the homicides were committed. So it was a very, very brutal murder.
Arriving at the crime scene, both FBI Special Agent Mark Young, a criminal profiler with the National Center for the Analysis of Violent Crime, and Texas Ranger David Maxwell initially consider this crime to be a burglary gone bad.
You have to be real careful when you go to a crime scene. You have to look at the totality of circumstances. It was later, after a really good analysis of all the evidence, that we were able to get a better picture of what happened.
The evidence reveals that Karen Cernick was sexually assaulted as she lay dying, and her body wrapped in a sheet, her husband's body nearby. The killer then ransacks the house, pausing long enough to eat before escaping in the couple's red pickup truck. Maxwell and Young soon realized that their first impressions are not supported by the facts.
We came to the decision that the purpose of it was the homicide and the burglary was the afterthought.